Good morning. Welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Monday again, Monday, October the 7th. We are here to look at the new releases that are being published this week. On Mondays, we start with Cozy Mysteries. Quick announcement, I don't have any sprints tonight. I don't do them on Monday night. I will have them tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern. They go for 2.5 hours. I do them 3 times a week, every Tuesday and Thursday evening and Saturday afternoons. There are a lot of cozies, so let's jump in. A Merry Little Murder Plot. Jen McKinley has a new one. Good morning, Mary. Happy Monday. How'd your show go? During the most wonderful time of the year, famous author Helen Monroe arrives in Briar Creek to be the writer in residence, but her bah humbug attitude excludes her from the many holiday celebrations the town residents enjoy. To try to spread some Christmas cheer, library director Lindsay Norris invites the new writer in town to join her Crafternoon Club. Helen politely refuses, and when an altercation happens between Helen and another patron, Lindsay begins to suspect the author has been keeping to herself for a reason. Another newcomer, Jackie Lewis, reveals she's visiting Briar Creek to be near Helen because she believes they are destined to meet. Having dealt with a stalker in the past, Lindsay feels compelled to tell Helen about Jackie, as she suspects that Helen is unaware her number one fan is in town. When Jackie's body is later discovered in the town park beneath the holiday light display and a copy of Helen's latest manuscript in her hand, the reclusive novelist becomes the prime suspect in the murder of her self-proclaimed megafan. Helen's frosty demeanor melts when Lindsay offers her help, and now the librarian and her crafternoon pals must prove the author innocent before the end becomes Helen's final sentence. And this is 15th in the Library Lovers Mysteries. A new Murder, She Wrote. I think we're somewhere, yep, I was going to say in the 60s. It's number 59. Murder, She Wrote, A Killer Christmas by Jessica Fletcher, as they all are, and Terry Farley Moran is the author of this now. Christmas is not an easy time to sell a house, but in Boston, Tycoon John Bragdon, Habit co-realtor Eve Simpson has found a buyer for the old Jarvis homestead. Unfortunately, Eve gets a lump of coal in her stocking in the form of Kenny Jarvis, who has been missing for years and presumed dead, but has now come back to stop his sister from selling their childhood home. Eve presses on, organizing a welcome dinner for Bragdon and his wife, Rosemarie, to meet the leading citizens of the town, including Jessica Fletcher. Dinner is interrupted by an uninvited guest. Not Santa, but Kenny, who threateningly promises Rosemarie she will never live in his house. When Rosemarie is found dead a few days later, Kenny is the natural suspect, but Jessica isn't so sure he's on the naughty list. MC Beaton has a new one in Agatha Christie. This is 35th in series. The show was okay, but not great considering how many people were there. It was a beautiful day, and there were probably more than, oh my goodness, 20,000 people there. You're welcome. Author MC Beaton, of course, but also a co-author with R.W. Green. Agatha Raisin's private detective agency has their work cut out for them when a series of shop burglaries disturb their quiet Cotswolds village. When the break-ins take a violent turn and a murder occurs, it's all hands on deck to find the killer. As if that weren't keeping Agatha busy enough, Sir Charles Frayth has called on her to help stage a glamorous promotional extravaganza on the grounds of his ancestral home, Barfield House. When Agatha begins to receive death threats and narrowly avoids being kidnapped, she takes advantage of a previously arranged trip to Majorca with her recent paramour, former police officer John Glass, to lie low for a while. Can Agatha track down whoever it is that wants her dead, nail the murderer, and keep her romance alive too? It's a race against the clock as the Cotswolds' favorite PI rushes to put the pieces together before the seconds run out. Spectre, woo, let go. Specters and Shadows, Book 2, by Kira Jane Harper, second in the Harper Quinn Paranormal Mystery Series. Harper Quinn may finally be safe after her sister's disappearance, but her life in the quiet town of Willowhaven is far from settled. Now living with her younger sister, Ellie, Harper is still grappling with writer's block and the consequences of her bargain with Duke Michaels, the ghost who saved her mother's life in exchange for her hand in marriage. To a ghost? When a letter from her recently deceased grandmother reveals that her death was not as natural as it seemed, Harper is thrust into another investigation. Despite warnings from the police and her own doubts, Harper can't ignore the feeling that something sinister happened to her grandmother. As she dives into the mystery, Harper identifies a handful of suspects: an old friend of her grandmother's hiding her own secrets, a realtor with an eye on the property, and a jealous neighbor. But as Harper uncovers more, she begins to draw unwanted attention, and soon the small town gossip turns against her, reviving the same whispers of madness that surrounded her grandmother. With her reputation and her sister's safety on the line, Harper must navigate the town's secrets and her own supernatural ties to solve the mystery before the past repeats itself. End of row one. Another gorgeous day in Virginia and on the cooler side of the thermometer. My kind of day. Nice. We like fall. Yeah, I had a good weekend. I finished a couple books and I finished The Wedding Bedspread. A week early. I just have to, I'll take a photo um, so we can see it, but I still need to like clean it, get a big bow and a card and stuff. But yay, I'm free. Death in the Attic, a twisty amateur sleuth murder mystery by Hilary Pugh, fifth in the Breakfast Club Detectives series. Detective Sergeant Katya Roscoff finds it hard to accept that she's retired, but she likes to keep her hand in when it comes to crime solving. When two bodies turn up in an attic on her patch, Katya Roscoff can't wait to get stuck in and find the murderer. But will D.I. Hannington, new to the area and keen to make a mark, hamper her inquiries? Another case for the Breakfast Club detectives that has all the right ingredients: a creepy deserted house, a family with things to hide, and a police team that have yet to come to grips with the local amateur sleuths. Murder in the Margins, second in the Watson the Wonderdog Mysteries by Rosie Sams. When a best-selling author is found dead and his last manuscript goes missing, a manuscript that promised to unveil the secrets of a lifetime, Izzy finds herself diving headfirst into a real-life mystery. Can Watson ignore the custard creams and sniff out the clues? It's gonna be tricky. As the duo navigates through the seaside town's secrets and lies, they encounter puzzles that only a talking dog and his perplexed owner can hope to solve. From mystical musings at their local cafe to eerie encounters with the eccentric townfolk, Izzy and Watson's adventures are filled with delightful surprises, dangerous revelations, and a treat or two. Marshmallows, Mystery and Mischief, a Pumpkin Hollow Candy Store mystery by Kathleen Suzette, fourth in series. When you live in a town that celebrates Halloween all year round, you're bound to run into a witch or two, or a handful of ghosts, and half a dozen werewolves. That's all part of the fun of living in Pumpkin Hollow, but sometimes you run into a dead witch, and that requires a little help from the local police. Mia Banks and her sister Christy own the Pumpkin Hollow Candy Store, and in their spare time, they gather clues to help catch a killer or two. But with Mia's husband, Ethan, working for the local police department, they have to be careful they don't step on any toes. Will they catch the killer before they strike again? Welcome to the small town of Pumpkin Hollow, where the warmth of family, the nostalgia of Halloween, and the delectable homemade candy abound. And I did not click on that. We'll let you take a look at that for a minute. Yes, we'd love to see it. I'm absolutely not organized. Well, the clock was ticking on this one, which is why I have all my projects be gifts so that they will get done. The wedding is in 2 weeks, but they're leaving Sunday. It's my next door neighbor, so it's not like I couldn't get it to them, but I wanted to get it to them before. Deader Than a Wet Hen by Ella Duke, second in the Dixie French mystery series. When retired teacher Dixie French and her spirited landlady Miriam stumble upon the body of a man on the eve of Loblolly Falls' annual fishing tournament, their tranquil small-town town is upended once more. The victim, a hometown hero turned celebrated angler, had returned to Loblolly Falls amidst much fanfare, only to meet a tragic end. Despite stern warnings from the local sheriff to avoid the investigation, Dixie and Miriam can't resist diving into the mystery. With the town swarming with fishermen, fervent fans, and a few people nursing grudges, there is no shortage of suspects and motives. Dixie herself witnessed the victim's wife slap him the morning he died amid rumors of his infidelity. With their signature blend of charm, wit, and determination, Dixie and Miriam sift through the tangled web of gossip, rivalry, and secrets. From the bustling tournament grounds to the quiet corners of Loblolly Falls, the duo follows every lead, hoping to hook the real killer in this delightful, cozy mystery. I don't like this cover. The hand is huge, and she is small. The proportions are wrong. Good morning, Ms. Blogger. Welcome. We are looking at Cozy Mysteries, end of row 2. Cursed Ground, a Raven's Wing Irish murder mystery, second in that series by T.E. Harkins. Some secrets refuse to stay buried. When well-known construction magnate Kevin Donnelly dies in what is assumed is a tragic excavator accident, Savannah Jeffers races to the scene to write a report for the village paper. It quickly becomes clear, however, that Donnelly didn't fall under the wheels of the digger. Someone ran over him on purpose. Potential suspects begin to stack up. Business rivals, a scorned ex-wife, even vengeful fairies getting their revenge on Donnelly for moving their fort. But much to Savannah's dismay, the Garda I used to know how to pronounce that, believe the murderer is none other than the man she's only recently discovered is her dad. Ian Murphy had the motive and the means to kill Donnelly. What Savannah doesn't know is whether her newly found father is capable of murder. With the guards focusing all their attention on Ian, it's up to Savannah to try and clear her father's name or die trying. Well, if they think he was ran over on purpose, your suspect pool would narrow down to those who can drive the thing. Just saying. Fun Ivy by A.W. Hartwell. Yeah. Fifth in the Afterlife Issues series. A suspicious suicide, a professor from the past, a spring break to remember. When Mariah makes an unexpected college request, Jess and Libby take their supernatural sleuthing on the road. Jess is nervous about taking Mariah to a campus so far from home, but Libby loves New York and she's happy to show Max and Henri their father's alma mater. That should be alma mater. Not Mata. They'll take a campus tour, have some burgers, and see the sights. Cornell isn't known for ghosts. What could go wrong? But when they accidentally run into a law professor with a problem, the entire trip changes. Dr. Miniver wants them to find out the truth about another spring break in 1982, and the case will cause a cascade of problems. Soon, a true crime podcaster decides they're the enemy, and the only way she goes is low. Leo gives Mariah a job she really doesn't want. Max and Henri try to help, and the university isn't having it. Along the way, Jess and Libby will have to deal with a sleazy serial killer. You're so sleazy. I don't care if you're still a serial killer, you're sleazy. A fractured family and a man so enticing even they are tempted. Can the friends solve a brutal crime from the past before there's one in the present? Cover critics. Me too. The cover has got to grab me right off, and that one didn't for sure. Indeed. Mary says hi. Maybe he was run over because he couldn't drive the thing. Very true. And he just couldn't get out of the way. Banner headlines and late deadlines by Amanda M. Lee, 24th in the Avery Shaw Mysteries. Avery Shaw is on the hunt for action and adventure. The last place she thinks she's going to find it is at a motivational retreat in northern Macomb County. I mean, how strong can someone be if they're only eating tree bark, right? When one of the guests turns up dead, however, Avery gets assigned the story. She's barely interested until she realizes the camp is designed like a certain village from one of her favorite movies. Huts dispersed through various trees with a huge platform and an open fireplace sounds like heaven in a suburb far, far away. Avery might not believe in manifestation, but she can't stay away from the village, and as she digs deeper into the murder, she finds an interesting set of circumstances. It seems the dead woman was sleeping with a married man. More importantly, it appears several of the women at the retreat were sleeping with the same man. Avery isn't a joiner, but she only has one shot at figuring out who killed her victim. She's going to have to join the retreat, where she will be expected to talk about her feelings, shudder, and eat something that isn't cooked in grease and served with a side of chili. It's the clean life for Avery, and by the end, she might just be wishing for murder over manifestation. She also just might get her wish. Cookies and Curses, A Witch's Hollow Mystery by Kate McGee, 7th in the series. Harper Dade was expecting a fun-filled evening at Willow Hollow's annual cookie exchange, but the festivities take a dark turn when a celebrity witch and cookie connoisseur is found dead amid a pile of hoarded trick-or-treat goodies. So much for a fun-filled night, as Harper's tasked with solving a murder that threatens to ruin the entire Halloween tourist season. With her cheeky black cat familiar Knox by her side, Harper follows a trail of clues, mostly cookie crumbs, to find out who's behind this shocking crime. As she digs deeper, she uncovers whispers of a curse that could spell trouble for everyone in town. And then there's Crank Cranston, the wizard mechanic whose smile can light up a room. But who might know more about the curse than he's letting on, since he's prime suspect in the crime? Halloween's just around the corner and the town buzzing with rumors. Harper feels the pressure building like a pumpkin carving gone wrong. That is a very bad metaphor. The more she investigates, the more she realizes that she's not just chasing a killer, but also racing against a curse that could bring down everything Willow Hollow holds dear. End of that row. Hookberry Homicide. I'll be your Huckleberry. By Cindy Keen Renders. When life gets crazy for Fran Lightfoot, she moves home to the small town of Moose Creek, Wyoming. Teenage daughter in tow. It sounds good. Hometown, family, a fresh future. Fran and her sister Lucy open a small business, the Saucy Lucy Cafe, in an old Victorian home they have inherited. The soups, stews, breads, and muffins they serve offer townspeople hearty home-cooked meals. While rebuilding her life, Fran begins dating Henry Whitehead. However, after their first outing, she finds him stabbed to death. The incident upsets everyone in Moose Creek, especially when people realize a murderer now walks the streets. Detective Gabe Stevenson is called in from a larger neighboring city to assist Moose Creek's Sheriff Otis Parnell with the investigation. Fran and Lucy develop theories about who the culprit may be. However, Gabe and Otis urge the sisters not to get involved. At first, the police suspect Fran of Henry's murder, although she insists she had nothing to do with it. When someone begins to threaten Fran's life, she and Lucy are determined to help law enforcement bring the murderer to justice, even if it means putting themselves in harm's way. Hollywood Comes to Murder Island by Maria Stamford. Fourth in the Laura Sutton mysteries. Who reopens a long closed hotel with 2 weeks' notice? Laura Sutton, that's who. What was she supposed to do when a Hollywood producer made her an offer she couldn't refuse? Now it's all systems go, but if Laura thinks launching a hotel is hard, she's about to get a lesson in multitasking. In all the chaos of pre-production, somebody is murdered. Is the killer a crew member, or did somebody set it up to look that way? With Sergeant Tom Clark otherwise occupied, it's up to Laura and her friends to find the killer before the producers find a more peaceful location, and this once in a lifetime opportunity for the island is lost for good. Retirement Can Be Murder by Vicki Carroll, first in a series. What if retirement isn't the utopia it's cracked up to be? Helen Rogers never imagined that she'd be bored at Sunny Days Retirement Village in lovely Peachtree Valley, Georgia, but she wasn't expecting to start this phase of life as early as her 50s either. Then why did you do it? Then fate gave her a hand in solving her friend's murder, and the sense of accomplishment was heady. But was it a fluke? Fate answers again when she stumbles over the second dead body, the city's deputy mayor. The corpse is barely cold before the mayor's wife is killed in a suspicious accident. Bodies are piling up, so Helen and her buddy Carol Adams take the next step, enroll in PI classes, apply for her license, and open an official investigation firm. Helen has found her purpose, and it comes with new partners and a handsome assistant, Ted Morgan. Yet business will grind to a halt before it gets off the ground unless she can break open the truth. Plenty of folks have a motive, but which one of the suspects is desperate enough to plan such elaborate murders? And they all do this in 183 pages. That's all we have time for. Good morning, Elena. How you doing? Happy Monday to you too. Oh, good. Good to hear. All right. That is it for today. We will look at the rest of the cozy mysteries as the week goes on, but definitely on Friday if we don't get to them otherwise. Hope you have a good Monday. Again, I don't have any sprints tonight. I think they're on Storm's channel tonight. But we will be here tomorrow night, Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. I get here as quickly as I can after work. It's 6 p.m. my time when I start, so I race home at 5 o'clock. Traffic sometimes does not go in my favor, so I get here as quickly as I can. And I do it 3 times a week, every Tuesday and Thursday evening and Saturday afternoons. See you tomorrow. Have a great day, everyone. Same to you, Elena. Mary says, hope everyone has a great week. Hard to believe October is moving along so quickly. Thank you very much. You too. I hope to see you later on Thunder Horse Descendant. Tomorrow we'll be looking at mysteries and thrillers. So in the meantime, have a good Monday. And as the banner says here, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Nom, nom, nom. Have a good day and God bless.